Hi, my name is Joe and I developed FDA Tracker. In this video I'm going to demonstrate the capabilities of Trial Tracker, an intuitive and easy to use analytics tool that I developed to help biopharma investors screen for companies with upcoming clinical trial catalysts. Trial Tracker cross-references companies traded on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and Amex exchanges with the entire clinicaltrials.gov database to provide you with a complete, independent source of information regarding clinical trial completion dates. Let's get started. The left sidebar contains company screening criteria. We can screen companies by market cap, stock symbol, conditions treated in the trial, trial primary completion date, and trial phase. On the right are tabs showing different views of the data. So we have a summary trial table, a timeline showing when trials will complete, bar plots showing the distribution of phases, both overall and by company, and frequency tables of conditions, both overall and by company. And we will return to each of these in turn, but for now let's return to the trial table. Now we can start changing the screening criteria. So if we raise the upper limit of the market cap from $1 billion to $3 billion, you'll see that the screening criteria and the table automatically updated. We can select multiple companies by control clicking. And we can also do the same thing for conditions, but for now let's just select leukemia. And we see that Ariad Pharmaceuticals has 2 phase 2 trials for leukemia currently underway. Clearing the selection returns us back to the original list. Now let's say we're interested in extending the trial horizon. So now we're interested in trials that end before April 2017. And we're also interested in the entire clinical trial pipeline from phase 1 to phase 3. Again, you'll notice that all these criteria and trials dynamically update to match our selection criteria. Clicking on the stock symbol takes us to the appropriate Yahoo Finance page. Clicking on the title takes us to the appropriate entry on clinicaltrials.gov. And this table can be copied to the clipboard or saved to CSV for external analysis. Now the timeline gives us a nice overview of the timing and frequency of clinical trial catalysts over the specified time period. This graph is a little big, so let's make it a little bit smaller by restricting our market cap. We'll make this 600 million. And you'll see that 12 companies now match our description. Note that these criteria stay in sync across all the tabs. So now the data in the trial table matches all the trials that are shown in the timeline. If we're interested in phase 3 in this particular group of companies, we can select it in the graph independent of the selection criteria on the left. So now we see that Vanda has 2 phase 3 trials, while Raptor has 3 phase 3 trials. Let's add them all back in. If we hover over each point, we get information, and clicking on a point takes us to the relevant entry on clinicaltrials.gov. Clicking over to the phase distribution tab, this gives you a bar graph of how many trials are in each phase and a distribution of phases by company. Once again, we can dynamically change this distribution. So if we're interested in seeing who has the most phase 3 trials, we can deselect these guys and see that Raptor has the most phase 3 trials. Clicking over to the conditions distribution, now these tables show you how many trials address each condition and a distribution of conditions by company. And these tables are sortable, so we can see that 19 trials are addressing neoplasms. And again, all of this data is exportable for external processing. Now I personally find the timeline to be the most useful view because it is a quick visual representation of when companies face upcoming clinical trial catalysts. So that's a brief overview of what can be done with Trial Tracker. Thank you for your interest and best of luck with your biopharma investing.